Wanda May's pink bowling ball. Shan Collins had gone down to the end of the hallway. She stood outside the door to Eden's bowling alley. Shan faced away from me, but I could tell she was crying. I felt like shit. "Please don't cry, Shan," I said. I put my hand on her shoulder and slid up between the soft, warm fluffs of her perfect hair. She did not pull away from me. That was progress, I thought. History is all about progress. And please don't hate Robbie, nor me. I would never lie to you, Shan. I love you too much. And, be honest, how many boys do you know who actually have the ability to save the entire world? Robbie Breeze is like a superhero. Shan laughed and cried at the same time. History does show that Shan Collins was a complex person capable of doing such things simultaneously. All my best friends were very complex. "Why didn't you ever tell me, Austin?" she said. I nearly gave Shan Collins the automated teenage boy's response, which would have been, "I don't know." I stopped myself. "Do you really want to hear about Robbie? Because I will tell you everything I know about him, Shan," I said. Shan said no. I said, "I love you, Shan Collins." She wiped at her face. It was my fault Shan Collins was crying. "Tell me the truth, Austin. Are you gay?" Shan Collins said. "I really don't think so. But I don't know, Shan. Maybe there is something wrong with me." "But I love you, Austin," she said. I know that. "I'm sorry for hurting you, Shan," I said. "I can't even begin to tell you how much I love you." Then Shan turned around and put her arms around me. We kissed, more deeply and passionately than we had ever kissed in our lives. I pressed my hips into hers. She did not back away from me at all. Shan Collins clearly approved of my erection. She said, "I'm scared, Austin." I whispered, "I guess I am too." "Okay. I'm sorry." We moved like tangled dancers through the doorway and into a bowling alley. That was a lot of progress. The world was turning and mankind was marching onward, doing the same stupid shit over and over and over. I unzipped Shan Collins' jumpsuit and we did the same to mine. So I could press my bare chest against her full breast. My throat tightened her heart. My heart felt like it was squirming inside my neck, just like a fat walleye forcing its way through a shallow creek during the spring spawn. Eden 5 needed to spawn. We went deeper into the bowling alley. I imagined being inside a cave 15,000 years in the past. Shan Collins and I threw off all our clothing naked. We went down onto the floor together. "Do you think this is the end of the world, Austin?" "We'll be okay. We'll be okay." Shan kissed me. She put her mouth everywhere on my body. It was electric. But I could not stop myself from thinking about my brother, Eric, and the two prostitutes named Tiffany and Rhonda. I thought about St. Casimiro's and his hair shirt, about Chris Zerba, and all about the Zerba men after him. I thought about Robbie in the clinic. I thought about naming my balls. Shan Collins helped me put my penis inside her vagina, and we had sexual intercourse right there on the floor in Eden's bowling alley. Below, a pair of shoes and a pink ball that had Wanda May embossed on gold on it. Her sex was noisy and urgent and wet. I rubbed my kneecaps raw, scraping them on the rough carpeting of the shoe-changing station. I pushed Shan along on her butt until her head and mine bumped against the rattling rack of bowling shoes. I did not care about anything at that exact moment. No one knew anything about it. Dr. Grady McKeon would be proud of Shan Collins and me. We were unstoppable. At that exact moment, Lewis, the cook from the pancake house, whose real name was Alwan Singh, climbed over the bloody, shitty mess in the front seat of Ali Jungfrau's Dodge Caravan minivan. He got out of the van through the shattered window the same way the unstoppable soldier had once seen Travis Pope did. Alwan Singh wanted to help Mrs. Edith Mitchell get out too. "Climb over the seat," he said to her. Edith Mitchell shook her head and said no. Alwan Singh tried all the doors on the Dodge Caravan. Could not open any of them. "Climb over the front seat," Alwan Singh repeated. But Edith Mitchell would not move. Alwan Singh said he would get somebody to help. He ran off the Kelsey Creek Bridge toward Amelia Jenks Bloomer Park. which was the opposite direction from where he had seen the unstoppable soldier going. Ah Wong Sing was smart. Mrs. Edith Mitchell waited in the crumpled Dodge minivan. It was not a good idea. At exactly that moment, Robbie Breeze was lying back, dizzy. Robbie stared up at the soft fluorescent lights inside the clinic while Wendy McKeon smoothed the plastic bandage across the small dark hole she had left in Robbie's arm. Just lie there a few minutes, Wendy McKeon told him. When Wendy McKeon put the 3 large syringes she had filled with Robbie Breeze's blood inside a small steel clinical refrigerator, Johnny McKeon was asleep on the wheeled doctor's chair with the back of his head propped against the wall. In the bowling alley, Shane Collins and I hurried to put our clothes on. We were both sticky and smeared all over with semen and saliva. I wanted to take a shower, neither of us said a word. I was more confused than ever. I felt terrible for all the things I had selfishly done to Shan and Robbie. I shut my eyes and asked St. Casimir's to help me. Outside, I heard Wendy McKeon calling for us in the hallway. I stuttered guiltily, offering something shitty about bowling a few frames when I saw Robbie Breeze, Ingrid, and Shan's parents looking at us in the hallway. I do not lie. And now I was a liar, too. Shan and I were mortified with embarrassment. Robbie's mouth tightened in disappointment, and a disappointed frown. He looked drained and tired. Robbie knew what we did. He could tell. Robbie Breeze always knew everything about me. Robbie Breeze slipped my silver chain over his head and handed the medallion with St. Casimir's back to me. Robbie said, "Thanks for this, Austin. You probably need it more than me now." A cigarette was what I needed, but I did not have the guts to say anything to Robbie Breeze. I looked at Ingrid and said, "What am I going to do, Ingrid?" Ingrid yawned, which is what Ingrid always does when she is confused. I was confused, too. Johnny McKeon said, "Dang, a dog who understands English. Ain't that a kick?" Rules are rules, but the brain room is not particularly brainy. Jenny McKeon did not have to try very hard to convince me and Robbie that we should wait until daylight before going back to my house for the paintball guns. Robbie Breeze and I were going to use my paintball guns and Robbie's blood to kill the unstoppable soldiers and save the world. Nobody wants to go out in the dark with unstoppable soldiers on the loose, even if you happen to be hanging around with God, who is armed with a paintball gun or shit like that. I hope that God of unstoppable soldiers was not too upset with me for sneaking away with his blood was being drained so I could have sexual intercourse with Shane Collins on the floor of a bowling alley. Unlike my great-grandfather answered Shizurba, I was not testing myself or trying to prove anything. That was what I told myself, at least. I was probably wrong. I mumbled something about wanting to take a shower. I stunk. Wendy McKeon said that if we had to stay in Eden for a while, we have to make some kind of rules about when boys could shower and when girls could shower. It was a ridiculous thing to make a rule about. Wendy McKeon may just as well have made a rule about the rotational speed of the Earth. History shows that as long as there have been human beings on this planet, once you put 2 of them together, rule-making will start up before you know it. I sometimes take showers with Ingrid, I confessed. Ingrid yawned. We made the stupid rule and this stupid rule. Boys are not allowed to love each other. Then we painted a bison on the wall. I wanted to take a shower. It was sticky and scratchy between my legs. I felt like the abrasive acrylic carpet fibers from the bowling alley were boring into my balls. I had BO and I needed to pee really bad. Everyone else wanted to go to sleep. It was very awkward and nerve-wracking for me talking about going to bed. I wanted Shan and Colin to sleep in the same room with me. I wanted to hold them both and tell them how sorry I was. I knew that would not happen. You know, rules and shit like that. It was on our way through the hallway of Eden's dorm room that we discovered the brain room. This is how we discovered it. The door had a brass plaque with an etched banker font letters that said, "Brain Room." Shan, Robbie, and I did not notice it before we were running crazy through the sleeping compartments, jumping on beds and not making rules and shit like that. "What the heck?" Johnny said. "Maybe it's some kind of command post," Wendy, Johnny's wife, offered. After watching and listening to Dr. Grady McKeon for about 3.5 hours tonight, I would not be surprised if this room was the other side of the door was filled with the room on the other side of the store was filled with actual brains. Or sperm, Robbie added. I said. I turned red. Shan was absolutely silent. Nobody wanted to hear about sperm at that exact moment, but Robbie was actually closer to winning the Guess What It Is inside the brain room game. It turned out that there was quite a bit of sperm inside the brain room. Robbie Breeze, the god of unstoppable soldiers, pushed his way between Johnny McKeon and me. Robbie turned the knob of the door. We went inside Dr. Grady McKeon's brain room. To be more precise, we went into the receptionist's office of the brain room. Dr. Grady McKeon kept a secretary. History will verify that secretary was highly involved in Dr. Grady McKeon's mission to breed. Dr. Grady McKeon attempted to breed with his secretary on top of her desk, on the floor of the reception area, on the pool table in Eden's tally-ho, and even on the stainless steel tray caddy in the cafeteria. Dr. Grady McKeon's sperm was not very lively. Dr. Grady McKeon's sperm was not unstoppable. In fact, Dr. Grady McKeon's sperm never got started. Dr. Grady McKeon's secretary was named Wanda Mae Rutkowski. She had a nameplate on her desk that said so. Moments earlier, Shane Collins and I had sexual intercourse below Wanda Mae Rutkowski's pink bowling ball and tricolored bowling shoes. Wanda Mae Rutkowski had feet like Godzilla. While my penis was inside Shane Collins' vagina, I noticed that Wanda Mae Rutkowski had shoes were women's size 11. It is my job to notice accurate details, no matter what is going on. Wanda Mae Rutkowski bent. His desk was frozen in time. "Hey, gum," I said. Wanda Mae Rutkowski's left an opened pale green rectangular package of Wrigley's Double Mint gum on her desk. There were 3 sticks left inside of the pack. I took one and began chewing it. The texture at first was cardboard-like and somewhat disappointing, but there was still a remarkable double mintiness locked within the sugary gum. "Unstoppable chewing gum," I said. Robbie said, I prayed to St. Casimir's that we would see to it that my balls would not dissolve. Wanda Mae Rutkowski had also a pack of cigarettes called Virginia Slims. I wanted to smoke one of them. There were 2 cigarette butts in the ashtray that came from Clement's Motor Inn in Cedar Rapids. Wanda Mae Rutkowski had cotton candy lipstick. It made me horny thinking about Wanda Mae's lips. My penis was a real dynamo. I finally settled on names for my balls. My balls deserve names. The Virginia Slim cigarettes were menthol and very thin. They looked like candy. Wanda Mae Rutkowski obviously enjoyed minty pleasures. A rotary dial phone sat on her desk, too, like the others we had seen in Eden. It had a row of clear plastic buttons across its base.